If you're a podcaster, you're going to want to check out this AI tool to enhance your podcast. Let's take a look at listener.fm. Hey there, if we haven't met yet, I'm Nils Smith, your social media guide, and I help churches, ministries, nonprofits, small businesses, organizations of all kinds maximize social media to accomplish their goals. And in this video, I want to look at a software product that I have been getting to know. I just recently purchased and tinkered with, and the way I do a lot of these reviews is I spend an hour in the platform. If I can't learn how to use it in an hour, it's too complicated. And this platform, I learned in less than 15 minutes and saw immediate value. So I can't wait for you to take a look and get to know listener.fm and how, if you're a podcaster, it can help amplify your podcasting efforts and save you time in the process. So let's start by taking a look at the listener.fm website. You can see it says elevate your podcast post-production processes. Very definitive what it does. Save time and increase quality with our AI-powered solution. You'll get attention-grabbing titles, descriptions, and show notes for your podcast in seconds. And that's it. It will help you write your title, your descriptions, your show notes for your podcast, and it will do it in a matter of seconds. And it accurately describes what it does. And this is something, if you're a podcaster, you know is time consuming of what should we title this? And is there a better title? Or, can I need to create show notes to put in the podcast or on my website, and a transcription would be helpful as well. And so it will do all of these things for you in a matter of seconds. And then it shows the platform, it shows that are using their platform. And so one audio file, and that's literally all you have to do is upload audio file. You give it the current name of that podcast and then who's on the podcast, and then it takes it from there. So you upload the audio, let AI work, and then publish the podcast. And it shows you exactly how the platform works here. And then if you're curious about pricing, it is $19 a month to start out for up to 4 uploads per month, which is pretty standard for most podcasts. And then you can do more than that if you're maybe an agency or you have multiple podcasts where you do more than 4 episodes a month. You would want this growth platform. And I think practically the more you do, the more value this platform has, and then their prices go up from there. So pretty straightforward with the platform and with their website. I think it very clearly defines what it does and how much it costs. I love when there's no hidden cost or there's no extra, like confusing as to what it is. And so it's an AI writing tool to take your audio content and create basically the frame you need for that distribution of your audio podcast. So let's dig into the platform. Let's log in. Okay, now I'm in ListenerFM's dashboard. You can see here you can add multiple podcasts. Social Media Church Podcast is my primary podcast. And so I've added that podcast. And then when you do that, you can, have different things in here of your profile and your account. And I could add, just add a podcast name, sample podcast. And then that should be, it will actually look for the podcast. So I can actually do that one and then add it, and then it would be there. So it just is automatically finding your podcast and then integrating it. And so I'm going to see if I can actually remove that. I don't know if I can. I'll have to mess with that later. But let's go to Social Media Church. And so I'm going to show you what it would be like to add a new episode to the podcast. So I would go in here and I would select a file, and I'll just pull one up here. And then I could take that file and I'd give it a name of sample name, and then put my name here, and then guest. And then if I hit continue, it's going to go in and it's now going to process that episode and begin listening and transcribing and using AI to then do all the output things that it said it was going to do. So let's go back and look at that output. Okay, so I'm going to go to one I actually did earlier while it is processing the sample name one. And so what it first did is it gave me the transcription of the whole thing with the podcast. It will show each person talking, and you could basically literally just output that whole transcript if you wanted to put that on your website. But it's not just the transcript. And I think that's what you can quickly see here is then you can go to titles, and it'll give you 3 sample titles that you can just copy and paste right in there. And so, yeah, some great creative ideas for those titles. Then it will give you summary. So if you wanted to put a summary there in your show notes, then that summary would then be available for you there. Then timestamps. This is fantastic to both put on your website. This is also, as we take a lot of ours and have video and upload those to YouTube, you can actually use this to create your timestamps for YouTube, assuming that audio and video are the same amount. You can actually do 10 timestamps or 5 or 15, and it allows you to, change those. And then it will create some sample tweets that you could use, and you could actually use these for other platforms as well, but it naturally works well on X or Twitter. And then this is an interesting feature of you could actually chat with your podcast. You can interact with it almost like a chat GPT for all of the content in your podcast. And so if you wanted to maybe look for something in the podcast, it has that feature. So is this platform worth it? I want to share my thoughts here in a second. So here's the question. Is ListenerFM worth it? Do I think this is a good tool for podcasters to use? And I think time will tell, how much we continue to use it. But I'll tell you, by the ease of use of the platform, within 10 minutes, I uploaded my first podcast, gave it the key descriptions. That took me less than a minute to do. And then it generated all of these tools for me to use that I could easily just copy and paste with no edits. And honestly, I would feel as good as if I'd done it myself with that, or I could edit it and spend the time that I would have done to create it to just edit what was created for me and maybe refine it a little bit. But practically, yes, this saves lots of time. This actually does a better job, I think, of what I often do myself with those podcasts. And yeah, it's really good. And I would say the cost effectiveness of it is a high value as well. So yeah, I'm sold on Listener FM. I plan on just incorporating this into all of my podcasts and using it across the board. And so I'm glad I found this tool. And so I would definitely recommend this tool for all podcasters. And you know what? I would say give it a try. It's a month-to-month subscription. Give it a try for a month, and you don't like it, stop using it. But I think you'd be surprised of how easy this is to use and how much value this can add to your podcast workflow. And what I found is I love creating content. The post-production side of podcasting is a lot of work. And it's also what could be the most draining reason of this is going to be a lot to, develop all of this out and copy and paste and edit all of this copy that needs to be associated with the podcast. And so this really brings multiple tools into one. And one of the things that I'm also curious about with a platform like this is, what will they do from here? What will be maybe even some of the next things? Should they create maybe some video type of posts that you can use for other social networks beyond X or Twitter? I'll be curious to track where listener.fm goes, but their initial product offering here is fantastic. And so, yeah, I think podcasters everywhere are going to want to use this tool. And I think this is going to be a go-to tool for most podcasters into the future. So great use of AI, great tool. I highly recommend. I'd love to know any other listener.fm users out there or other tools that you use to enhance your podcast production process. Drop that in the comments below. I'd love to know. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you'll check out some other videos. Hope you're subscribed to the channel, ring the bell, all the things. And you can visit my website at nilssmith.com. I've got some great free resources there and would love to connect with you. If there's anything I can ever do to help you maximize your podcast, your social media, anything, I'm here for you. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you again on the next episode.